Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of I Cast Fireball, an actual play 5e D&D adventure where we go through the campaign Skulls and Shackles. I'm Thomas, your DM for this adventure, and around the table we have
Lieutenant Ignis Harkon,
Maximus Shans,
Chozo Lebec,
and Buster Bilgewater.
After a resounding success against the first lieutenant of the port of Olo, we find our adventurers back on the ship, having dealt with some sickness, dealt with some exhaustion, dealt with some interpersonal conflicts, maybe just within themselves. And with the revelation that Spellpan Pete, when he thought you guys said sponsorship, he just determined to become part of the crew, and with Buster's friend and ally a part of the crew as well, you set off out of the port of Olo, but not before Sandara calls in a favor or sacrifices something great. At this point, you have left the port of Olo, being free to move about the shackles with freedom, at least for the time being, on your way to the Brine Banshee and the portal that resides below. That is where we join our adventurers on this week's episode of I Cast Fireball. So, the four of you go to your respective locations, your respective jobs, chores. There's a few days that will need to take place before you get to the general location of the Brine Banshee. And if you recall, we leveled up last session, so this is a good time to recharge, get our spells, reattune to a certain
I have level 10 on my notes.
Not level 10. I believe it's level 9. Oh, man.
I thought that was somewhere we said
wrong.
level 10. Oh, man.
Your notes are just incorrect.
We don't get level 10 until we get Ataraxia back, guys.
The
we all know
price is
this.
wrong,
It's the-
Bob.
And allowing yourself to reattune, to reconnect, whatever it may be, you head off towards the Brine Banshee. Now, Buster,
Yes.
well, who has the bone finger again?
Buster does.
I don't think it was Buster. It was?
Yeah.
Okay, it was Buster.
At least when last we left off with it, he had done the identify on it. And I believe it's in the magical chest of emotional baggage, yeah.
Great, okay. Which you all have, yes.
Yeah, Buster keeps that chest close.
Here's an interesting thought. Atarax is the only one that knows where Meredith's heart is, right?
Yeah.
Yep, I've considered that.
But Sandara knows where the compartments are.
I'd put money that Sandara knows.
Well, she knows. She showed him where the compartments are.
Rickety Hake showed him where the
Rickety
compartments-
Hake.
Oh, I thought Sandara
Rickety
did.
Hake was the one who put the compartments in.
But Sandara constantly knows more than she lets on.
As I recall, there was like one specific compartment that Rickety made sure was just for the captain.
That is correct. Buster, the couple days have passed, and as you recall your last interaction with Fitch, your buddy from the port of Olo,
Yes.
it was a bit tense, right? It was a bit.
I thought it went fairly well. I thought it went
It was a good
as
meeting.
it could go. I don't know where we stand as friends anymore.
And that was the question that was left in the air, basically. As it was a big revelation, it was very truthful, and therefore, if friendship was to be maintained, it was a good step in that right direction.
Right.
Correct? Well, as Fitch, he actually comes to you after a few days, as you know that this bone finger is really the only way that you have to identify exactly where the Brine Banshee went down. The Brine Banshee being at the bottom of the Shackles, at the floor of the sea. And so where exactly that resides, this finger is key and needs to have spells cast to be able to essentially find it. And this knowledge, if it was not made apparent to you, Fitch comes up to you after a few days and, Buster?
Yeah, I'm at the helm, I assume.
Yeah, he just comes to where you are, and this is just midday.
I'm at the helm, and this is my normal pose at this point. Is I've got the chest of emotional baggage underneath me, and I'm sitting on it like cross-legged, as I steer the ship.
Nice. He approaches you and goes, so we're heading to the Brine Banshee. Yeah. Not really a question, so much a statement.
Yeah.
And how we're doing that with the finger that Dindrian gave to us. Yeah.
Well, we're using it somewhat to figure out where it is. That's kind of the idea.
Right.
The hope, I suppose.
Are you the one casting the magical means to locate?
Yeah, divination. Basically, I have to a combination of divination and locating a little bit. So it's I've got to reach out to Ghost Ray and not.
Okay.
If you don't know anything about the waves, they don't always go the way you want, and you kind of have to just let them take you where they want. So, right.
Ghost Ray?
Yes. Right now we're following the sea, and the general idea of where we think it's going to be. But I haven't gotten a clear. And you can't. It's really easy to overcast a divination spell. You're dipping your brain into the realm of the gods. It's not a great safe place to hang out forever. So I've been doing it each day. But
okay, all right, yeah. No, I get that. I was just checking in. It just seemed like such an frankly impossible task to get to identify a sunken ship. Anyway, it's just fascinating to more kind of like an intellectual exercise, just to understand where we're going, what was happening, and no, that's comforting to know that we've got a heading.
Do you need anything? Do you need something? Is everything okay? You're getting along with I know it's not. Usually our crew's a lot in better spirits. I know things are kind of generally tense around here, but they're good folk. Just stay away from Wesley. But
no, I'm surprised that we're out of the port of Olo. It's not only been so long, but with the tumultuous leave that you all had, it was shocking Vakarla let us go. So I
assume it's
I don't know, I'm just kind of walking around in a daze a little bit.
Every time there's a hole in power, somebody's happy to take the seat, and I don't know what Sandara's got. At this point, I don't know what Sandara can't do, but yeah, keep an eye on her. I wouldn't trust her completely, but I also think she's not untrustworthy, so I'm not really the person to take that kind of advice from.
Right.
Do you need something? Is everything okay?
I mean,
you kind of been avoiding me, and I'm trying to give you your space because I know I did you wrong, but like.
I appreciate the space. It has taken me a few days to just process everything. I mean,
sure.
I was elated because I'm finally leaving the Port Olo. This is my chance, and brought down pretty low with the knowledge that I could have left Olo a lot earlier, and then the tension and the fear of trying to leave, maybe not happening. What if we were being pursued? And it's been a lot of turmoil, inner turmoil the past couple of days. So I just came to tell you that I understand why you did what you did, and I get it. I forgive you, Buster, and I'd like to still trust you.
Okay.
Moving forward.
Look, I want moving forward. I want to be the sort of person that you should trust. That said, I think the skills that you learned, at least survival, on Olo, are still going to be useful out here. Even though we have a very loyal and unified crew, like we didn't know we were going to lose our captain just that fast and be like kind of unmoored in that way. And so And by the way, this is how it goes. Like every ship I've been on, something happens, something goes wrong, and it really shows the mettle of a crew when things go terrible, how they react. And most of the time, it's not a good reaction. So far, this has been one of the better ones I think I've seen. But I mean, getting off of Olo, it wasn't an escape from the danger of, those social turmoil and uncertainty of the port. It's all the Shackles still. So don't let your guard down, even around me. And he looks him in the eye when he says that. And he's unthinkingly rubbing his hands over the engraving on the ship wheel with Tim on it. When he says, you don't even trust me completely.
Mm-hmm. I think you might be right in that I learned some stuff on Olo to survive, and yeah, I think I'm more ready for the high seas now. And as horrible of a time this is, to have a determined crew and one that's driven with a purpose, I think I might be joining just at the right time. He sort of looks at you as he turns to look at you as he says that. And
well, I'll tell you what, it's a great time not to be an Olo.
That's true. Anyway, just wanted to come up and tell you that, and
I'm glad you're here, Fitch.
Maybe I'll catch you. I'm glad to be here, and I'll catch you around mealtime. All right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And he sort of slaps your arm and just kind of nods his head and walks off.
Okay. Good talk. I had a good talk. That must have been how Ataraxia felt all the time.
Ignis, as you are on the ship, busying yourself, ensuring that duties are to be done, Sandara is also on the ship, assisting in her normal capacities and duties, but it doesn't take a significant passive investigation to see that something has definitely been weighing on her since leaving Olo, and every day she gets just a little bit shorter with her temper, and it's not getting worse, but it's just something is there. And it's just an observation that you make as you are on the deck, really close proximity with her pretty much throughout the day, through all of your responsibilities. Anybody else would have made the same observation had they been as close as you are physically, just in proximity to her. Max probably would have clocked it sooner if you weren't just up in the crow's nest for 90% of the day.
I'm not in the crow's nest anymore.
Captain.
You're the captain!
Yep.
Then I should say...
I'm sleeping, though, to get my exhaustion out.
Yes. I will say, most of the 3 days at this point, Max, it is just, we'll say narratively, that's how to get the exhaustion away, even though mechanically it only takes one night.
I totally agree. Gotcha.
The burden of you becoming the captain is definitely weighing on you as well. As you start going through some of the charts, you start going through some of the papers on the desk that you normally had overlooked being on the council. You're like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, right? And so you start just kind of reviewing these maps, reviewing these documents, things of that nature. And yeah, after 3 days, you do feel like the exhaustion has worn off from your journey. And Ignis, it's about this time that your hair starts to return to normal color. It's slowly, but surely, it's not as your hair grows, it does eventually all fade back to your normal red. And Chozo, during these past 3 days, is there any sort of preparation you're doing in understanding that we are going to a portal, that this portal is not directly to the first world, but it can assist and help? Is there any sort of preparation that you're doing, or whether it be mental or trying to connect to the land or to any of the Forgottens? What sort of, could you walk us through some of that?
Absolutely. So after my first night up in the crow's nest, I'm used to sleeping in the crow's nest. People, they look at me, they go, that's where this guy belongs. They don't realize that I have a -1 perception, but I've learned how to make up for that because when I am bound to Hoyi the Archer, my eagle eyes allow me to treat any perception check as equal to 10 or my binder level plus my charisma modifier, whichever is higher. So,
Nice.
Wow.
I need to make sure that I stay bound to Hoyi the Archer as long as I'm up in the crow's nest. But the next morning, when I wake up, stretch from my cramped position up here in the crow's nest, I pull out some of my chalk and draw a little binding circle up there in the crow's nest and begin my daily binding ritual. And want to stay bound to Hoyi, but I have just gotten this totem for Taiki the Luck Thief, and I figure if we need to get to the first world, I need to spend some time attuning back to those energies. So I unbind myself from Evocatia the Red, the Cardinal Beak and crest disappear, the embers coming out of my beak and eyes disappear, and as I bind myself to Taiki the Luck Thief, the sort of bird change that happens is my secondary wing feathers and my tail feathers turn a nice sort of sky blue with these horizontal black and white bands across them like that of a blue jay. And in front of my forehead, as if I didn't have enough things kind of floating around my head, 3 sort of faintly shimmering, semi-translucent playing cards appear. A Jack, a Queen, and a King, all of diamonds, appear in front of my face. And I kind of look around at these new physical manifestations that come from binding to this new vestige for the first time. And I reach to my wing and find one of the secondaries that's a little looser than the others, pluck it out, look at the stunning blue jay plumage, and then I add it to the back of my cap along with all of the other feathers. And get myself ready to look out on the horizon for another whole day.
And as you're getting ready to look out on the horizon, what was this new vestige called again?
Taiki the Luck Thief.
As you connect yourself to this vestige, you hear this voice of, Hey, is that you? Hey, is that you there?
Surprise. I am, in fact, me.
Chozo, have you bound to this vestige before, Taiki the Luck Thief?
Nope, first time. I went to that lost shrine in the first world, was being attacked by a slavering beast trying to escape, and that was when I found myself in Port Olo, so this is my first chance.
Hey, how did you find me? How did you get... No one's found me for... It's been so long.
There are many who are not quite so dedicated as myself.
Are you feel as if I feel like I've felt you before, moving around, trying to plunge the depths, and while I've been asleep, I've just thank you for finding me.
I am grateful to make sure that your memory remains not forgotten for as long as possible.
Thank you. And as like the thank yous just sort of like disappear, each of the playing cards just light up as they with each thank you, and it slowly dims and dims and dims and dims as the thank yous disappear into silence.
And I peer out over the deck, and I look down, and I see there are these 5 kids who I've noticed are very, very eager to please. And there's information that I need, obviously. There's weird stuff going on with this crew. So at various times over the next couple days, just during meals, etc., I kind of, nudge them a little bit to try and figure out what the deal is with this lost captain. Would we say that it's reasonable to say that over the course of the next couple days, I'm up to date with everything that's going on?
Yeah, we'll say that. We'll say that you're for sure up to date. Let's have you roll a persuasion check, though, just to see if maybe you get how strong your connection with them becomes.
I love the idea of Ned's new character only knowing the 3 of us through those 5
Oh, boy.
crew members.
Would it be reasonable for me to ask for advantage because these guys are so desperate for someone to think that they're cool?
Yes, it would be. That's a really good point. I would say that yes, or they're eager for someone to view them as important or in the know. So
All right.
yes, advantage absolutely seems reasonable.
That's going to be a 26 then.
Good heavens.
Charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yes, absolutely. They go. There's a variety of things that are said. Yeah, blood twist. He starts to speak up and he goes,
It was quite difficult to fathom that Ataraxia would ever get lost in the first world. And
Yuzi spoon slug soup. He chimes in. At this point, really trying to catch your ear, trying to rise the ranks of the 5 here, as he has found himself to be at the bottom and unable to shake his new name. And he's just like, but now that you're here, like, I'm sure that everything will get back to normal with your skills and your power and your abilities. And I mean, as long as you're maybe more of us could help out if we learned a little bit about how you are able to connect to these forgotten ones and such. Again, for like the 12th time, pestering you for you to teach him how to connect with forgotten ones as a binder. And Danny Boy just nods his head emphatically but quiet, as you have made a definitive connection with these 5. And they seem to be, when they have some free time, the more time you give them, the more time they take, if that makes sense.
And the more time I start
definitely-
spending up in the crow's nest.
And Wesley starts to find excuses to climb.
The Cho's nest. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. I'm done.
Oh, there we go. And Wesley starts to find excuses to climb the crow's nest to deliver information. And as you dismiss him, he just sort of like lingers every so often and back and forth. And yes, up to date. And you seem to have a fan group, if you will, within these 5 young, impressionable youth here.
There we go. I got partially what I wanted and partially what I didn't want, but isn't that life?
That's a critical success for you. Max.
Could I give out some orders? At one point, Max is going to call, probably earlier in the trip of these 3 days kind of we have than later. He's going to call over Buster and Chozo. He's going to say, I think it's best if you two were to approach our new sponsor. Go talk to Pete. Buster, you have a previous relationship with him, Spellpan Pete.
Wait, Spellpan Pete?
Because isn't there like a portal?
Yeah,
Isn't there a portal?
The portal shimmered, and Spellpan Pete has come out a number of times for food, and then he's just taken it right back in. And he does have to come out once a day to recast it, but yeah.
I didn't really have a relationship with him. I just kind of knew of him. Like I knew he was a thing in Olo when I was there. But actually, I mean, Ignis kind of like got him to do whatever she wanted. Basically, she walked out of that deal better than anybody. So if anybody was gonna wheeling and dealing, I don't know. Yeah.
I am needing the lieutenant for other things.
And Chozo, as you piped in, you absolutely have known of Spellpan Pete from your previous time in Olo, and you're kind of astounded that he's still there after this long time.
Yes, was his shop still standing when you met him?
Yeah.
Remarkable. Have you invested in flame retardant for your ship? Just by any chance?
No.
We should look into that. That would be good.
I will leave you two to it, Buster. I just thought you being a magic user, knowing all the intricacies of it, maybe you could get a little bit more understanding. And Chozo, you seem to be a very good talker.
Yes, you have perceived correctly, Captain.
I don't know what happens to me when I enter that space of his, if I'm still on sea or on land. so I'd prefer not to go in. However, I have prepared, and Buster pulls out a scroll, a list of things that I would like him to do for us. And I could just give that to you, Chozo, if you're cool handling it. If that's okay, Cat Max. I just don't, it's a magic thing.
I would like you to work with Chozo, Buster.
Okay, aye, you got it. I'll work with Chozo.
You don't have to go in. Just
Right.
flag him when he comes out.
He can come out. Yeah, that works too. Okay, cool, great.
Lieutenant,
Aye.
you're with me. And he'll walk
Good talk.
away with the lieutenant.
He's pretty good at this. He says to Chozo.
She side-eyes Buster and Chozo, and then follows Max.
And I'll look over at Buster and say,
Pocket dimensions are not per se land or sea. You have an eldritch aura about you. This is just an observation.
Oh yeah. You got some auras on yourself there, bud.
Very true.
All around his head.
yes, you may say that, and I kind of flick one of the little cards. You may say that game recognize game.
Wow.
You are happy with this Eldritch Pact that you have? Unhappy?
Is what it is. Are you happy with
Is what it is.
all of this?
Very happy.
Good for you. Great.
Well, let's go talk to good old Pete, shall we?
Buster kind of steps aside and gestures. Lead the way, Birdman.
I'll go and
Max, would you like to talk with Ignis first before we go into Pete, or would you prefer this to happen?
I'd prefer to know what Max wants to do with Ignis personally, as a listener.
But yeah.
That's good.
Max will lead Ignis into the captain's quarters, shut the door, lock it, turn around. All right, I think it is pertinent for us to, if we can, find the captain's secret compartment. One, because there's literally a beating heart of a witch in there. And two, if Ataraxia left anything behind that could possibly help us into the Fey Realm, I'd imagine something that he wants kept secret and safe would be there.
What?
I know you're very good at investigating.
But I don't have any magic. I can't find something that's hidden.
I believe, from what the captain had described, this compartment cannot be found by magical means, so it's more up to the senses to find.
Ignis will start looking around the room as she's just standing with her arms folded. Ignis is observant, which gives her a +5 to her passive investigation.
And Max has very good perception, so I was hoping that with our tag-teamed abilities, we could have a chance of finding this thing.
With your powers combined.
With our powers combined, form of magnifying glass. Could I petition...
So funny because Buster wanted to search there too.
Could I petition to add my +5 from observance to an investigation roll by using, perhaps story-wise, using the alternative echoes?
Like using a feature of your class.
Like if you could find an echo that was the captain that instead of Ataraxia?
Either
or send them out.
Yeah.
Or like.
Sorry, Josh.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said.
Yes,
Yeah,
like gather-
because one of my Echo Knight abilities is an avatar, and one of the flavors I wanted to add to that was that in different parallel times, maybe I could call upon a timeline where Ignis was captain or was in the know of where that box might be as a reason to add to my active investigation instead of my passive.
Yeah, I like that justification. I like that flavor. And I like utilizing the class's abilities to enhance that. So yeah, I think a +5 would be in order for observant when making that investigation check. And Max, with your perception.
I have a flavor thing to add, maybe to help with looking to this too.
Excellent.
Max will pull out, it's a very unconventional thing to do, but he's thinking, he's trying to find this compartment. He will pull out the far glass, and he will kind of use its abilities not to see, obviously, too much, because, using a spyglass close by, it doesn't make that thing get bigger. It kind of fuzzes it out. But when he activates the ability, he can hear for 10 minutes where he's looking, and he is listening for a heartbeat. So he's kind of using a makeshift stethoscope.
Crazy.
Nice.
So good.
Which, that would make sense because, as we described earlier in the campaign, this heart was lined in lead. So therefore, detect object, detect magic
Couldn't find it.
was not possible.
That doesn't
but-
mean it doesn't sound. Doesn't
My
make sense.
my thought was
Exactly.
just to cast knock on every wood board and wait for something to move.
boy.
You actually accidentally
Wow.
create like holes in the floor. And
Okay, I like both of these justifications here.
Cool DM confirmed.
The DC is insanely high here. So I will allow you both either to make it separately. The investigation will probably have a slightly lower DC, just because that's the nature of the skill, right? To investigate hidden things, hidden compartments. Or one of you can give advantage to the other.
what is your perception, Jake?
It's plus 11,
Nice.
but it's a higher DC, Thomas said.
Yeah, but mine's only a +7 with a lower DC.
But with a +5.
Sorry, it's 7 with the +5. It's only a +2 outside of that. Because the +5 in rules as written only applies to the passive investigation. I don't know why it doesn't add it to the active investigation, but
If one of you rolled bad, take my inspiration. I didn't clock.
yeah, I
who
have
rolled what.
inspiration too. So, Jake, why don't you? I love the heartbeats. I think the heartbeats so
I will
cool.
say, for this skill check, I will only allow one inspiration to be used. We can't just
All I
spam
use are
it.
inspirations.
Right.
What a not cool DM. No, I'm joking.
Bully your players, folks.
So I'm rolling with advantage. That's what you're giving me. Okay.
Yep, advantage. The DC is quite high. Should I say it before you call out your
I
numbers
mean,
here?
I already
the DC to make
rolled
it fair?
already.
Yeah, but I'm going to say the DC is a 27.
I rolled an 18. And 18 plus 11 is 29.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
All right.
With
Let's
advantage.
go. Ba-bum. Ba-bum. Ba-bum.
You both are helping each other, assisting each other, passing short phrases to each other just to be like, clear, not here, or try this area, right? And Max, you just close your eyes at points and just listen. And I mean, you have to go. I mean, this compartment could be as small as your hand, right? It could be as small enough to just hold a heart. So the moment, and since you know it's lined in something, you have to just really hone in here. And you just keep passing over and over and over the walls, the baseboards, the tables, the bed frame cut into the wall. Right above the bed, in a corner panel, you hear a and the heart beats faster the more you listen to it. Almost as if there's a sense that they've been found.
Jumanji. No, I'm joking. No. Max will kind of, as they're both looking, he'll kind of like look across the room to Ignis, who's on the other side, looking at another panel and thinking for a second, like, can I really trust her? And then he'll, Ignis, over here. Beckoning
She'll
over.
immediately drop whatever she had in her hand and walk over.
It shatters. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably. That's probably the sound effect
It
I'll
was
put
the
into
good
it.
drink.
It was the good drink.
And he will take a chance and trust her. And he will he'll say it's right around this area. And he will, I would assume he knows you have those glasses, the minute.
Oh, yeah.
So he'll be like, maybe if you put them on and look, you can see exactly the mechanism of unlocking or opening it.
And with your passive investigation being observant, you don't need to roll for this because your +5 gives you, now that you know what you're looking at, you can see the short little puzzle that Rickety Hake had, the pattern he had locked in, where it's just slide this, twist that, push in, and then slide back to the, almost to its original position while pushed in, and then you hear this as this little door just opens, and both of you can hear audibly as there is lead lined on the inside of this very small compartment.
All right, Captain. We found it. What are you supposed to do with it?
Is there anything else in the compartment besides the bag with the heart?
Excellent question. Excellent question.
I turn to Ned. Ned, as Ataraxia, was there anything else in this compartment?
Well, at one point there was a deck of many things in this compartment, but it is no longer there. Aside
Yes.
from the heart and the deck of many things, the only other significant item that Ataraxia has ever been entrusted with was the Qual's Feather token, which is currently being held by by Spellpan Pete. So basically, Ataraxia, the only equipment that he has is the equipment that he started the campaign with. But I'll say that I left my magnifying glass in there. Why not?
There you go. A normal magnifying glass. And it's the heart is behind it, so as you look at the heart, it actually has enlarged the image of it, just the way that it's refracted, and it looks larger than it should be as this just unnatural.
It's not in the bag. It's just out in the.
No, I should say it is in the bag.
Oh.
I apologize.
The bag
it is
is
still in
moving.
the bag. It's covered, but the bag is just larger, and you can almost see part of the heart's veins pulsing against the side of the bag.
I don't want this on our ship, especially if we're traveling to hell. Maybe. But I don't know if it's... I'm wondering if we give Buster another chance to put it to rest.
Ignis thinks about that, as the player also thinks about that.
Can I ask a question? I'm so sorry if this is I don't want to backseat DM, but I just want to remind everyone that on one of the walls in the captain's quarter is just a wall covered in ballads of every single person on the ship. And so I'm just curious if at any point the two of you feel things seeing Ataraxia's handwriting about everybody on the crew as he was adding to each of them.
I would say for Max, I would say just for Max, it gives him a little push to find the poet to finish his work.
And it's definitely been something that you've been observing for the past 3 days. It's part of the literature that you've taken in. You've really tried to internalize this. Ignis, it is one of the first times really you've been in here for a long period of time to be able to take it in, this work, this writing. As the heart is pulsing in the bag, you're thinking about this choice with Buster. You look to the walls and you see this poetry. You see these epic poems starting to be written by Ataraxia, being added onto this edition as each line goes through some mundane, some incredibly poetic, it can give you cause to ponder and wonder.
As Max asks if we should give Buster another chance, Ignis does look around to the poetry on the wall, and her eyes land on Buster's, which does have a lot written on it. It's across the room, so it's harder to see what's actually written, but just the length of the words on it, it's clear how beloved Buster was by Ataraxia. I don't think Ataraxia would want to lose Buster again. And so Ignis will reach in and grip the bag in her hands, pull it out between the two of them. Destroy? Yes?
By all means, if we can.
And Ignis will just try to crush it in her hands. As far as she understands, it's just a heart, and she just squeezes it like Suicide Squad with the Enchantress's heart.
Nice. I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Sure.
Please.
Did you say with advantage?
Yes.
That's good. This dice sucks. Wisdom. Oh no, I have a -1 to it.
With advantage?
That's only a... Yeah, with advantage is only an 11.
Okay.
So sick of this stupid dice. This one was rolling bad too.
Can I give her my inspiration for this one, Thomas?
I'll use my inspiration. I still have inspiration.
Oh, okay.
I just need to find a dice that I don't have in dice jail because apparently they all
Gotta go
suck.
through 'em.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll with my inspiration. Okay, that one was a 16.
Oh, wait. Can I do something? Let me just make sure.
Sure.
Let me just make sure this can do what I think it can do.
It's only right that when trying to unravel something that one of Ned's characters has established, we have to all become insanely crunchy about our way with dealing with it.
Okay. While Ignis is while Ignis reached for the heart and started to crush it, Max gets a little panicky. He just kind of instinctively he just all of a sudden reaches into his bag and pulls out one of his gem dice, and immediately kind of in a swooping motion draws a circle around us, and he doesn't have anything to say for it, but he just thinks Fae, because he knows hags, as Ataraxia told them, are Fae, and he casts Magic Circle. Magic Circle, creatures can't willingly enter the cylinder that he has created, this 10-foot radius by 20-foot tall cylinder. Creatures can't willingly enter the circle by the creature that is that thing. Cannot enter the circle by non-magical means. If the creature tries to teleport into it, it must do a charisma saving throw. The creature has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets within the cylinder, which is Max and Ignis, and targets within the cylinder, Ignis and Max, can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by the creature.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Nice.
Well,
Magic.
So, Ignis, you go to crush this heart, and it gives you an unnatural resistance, a supernatural resistance. And your echoes, you start to see the tendrils of your echoes in other dimensions, some crushing this heart definitively, others struggling like you, others opening it and holding it with their bare hands. And as Max draws this circle with the dice, and you start to feel yourself actually drift into and start to go to open the bag with the heart, and you start to being maybe I should, maybe this bag is restricting me, maybe I need to. And just as you're reaching into the bag and the circle is finished and the word Fae, you snap to and you hear this haunting lullaby that is just emanating in your ears, as was singing to you of these words and these phrases of "draw near to me, child, wild and things of like, come, let me see, as you were like being like mesmerized and about to touch this heart. And as the circle finishes, both you and Max, you hear this wailing, this screaming at the top of this spectral, supernatural lung that is emanating from this heart, now exposed to the air, unable to charm, unable to grab you, to enthrall you, to command you. Meredith screams and with her true nature and yells at each of you and says, you can't save Ataraxia without me. I'm the only one with the power, with the knowledge of the first world to bring it, and you to him. And as you hear all of this, Ignis, your resolve is there, and you just start to squeeze and squeeze as this black, liquidy, just disgusting ichor starts to drip down your hand and your arm before it gets to your elbow and just drips onto the boards below. And as she screams in agony, writhing if she could, this heart trying to jump out of your hand before it goes still, flat, and then starts to decay in your hand. And within a matter of 60 seconds, the heart, vibrant with this black, pulsing ichor, just turns to ash and disappears from an unseen wind. And as the ash disappears into another realm, the ichor on the boards that was so plain and present is now gone, with the stain and curse of Meredith off the ship.
Ignis will take the bag that she took the heart out of and ceremoniously return it to the lead-lined box and close it.
Having completed this task, acting as Captain Max, and carrying out these orders as the Lieutenant, Ignis, you find yourselves with a relative calm moment of peace. And as you close and lock this secret compartment, carry on with some of your other duties as you approach the Brine Banshee.
At that same moment, Buster with Chozo, he kind of puts a hand on Chozo's shoulder and goes, "Hold on, something's wrong." Oh no, just gas. Let's keep going. It's just a bit of gas.
And we end this episode as the two of you on your way to talk to Spellpan Pete. That is where we're going to end this week's episode of I Cast Fireball.
Out of curiosity, player to player, did you want a final moment with Meredith?
No, I love when you guessed it. That was awesome. That ruled.
That was like the hesitancy for, I was like, if I was at me as a player with this cursed object that meant a lot to my story, like, would I want a moment to say, like, to be the one, or that's what I was like trying to think through.
Nah.
I loved your
I didn't even
inclusion
realize it
of
was a
the
cursed object when
poems.
I was interested in it. So yeah,
But it's been since then. I think that there could have been a moment for like character growth, or like a maturity of Buster, or like coming back to that and then choosing to reject her, or whatever. That could have been interesting. But
I like leaving it up to the listener to decide what they think Buster, how he may have handled that. But regardless, I think it's very clear that he's got some good friends.
Well, I am interested to see if we'll have a similar interaction to that Max Ignis had with Meredith next week as Chozo and Buster go to Spellpan Pete. And see if there's any...
Are they going to crush Spellpan Pete?
Well, they're going to crush...
I will grab his heart in my bunny hand
rip it
and
from his
squeeze
chest.
until the ichor goes down my
the ichor.
Well, folks, Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Players, thank you for joining us, as always, and listeners, thank you for joining us as we journey through this fun seafaring adventure of the Skulls and Shackles, currently trying to get our beloved Captain Ataraxia back. If you like what we're doing, we would love you to leave a review on the podcatcher of your choice at iCastFireball20. Leave us a 5-star review so we can shout you out on a future episode here, or shoot us an email at icastfireball2020@gmail.com. We're shooting? We're shouting out somebody here. Catherine shot us an email. Said, hey, just wanted to pop in and say thank you for your storytelling and say thank you with a heart and your dedication to the podcast. You all tell the stories so well, which I think we just saw beautifully between Mickey and Jacob here. And it's a true delight to listen. They started a few months ago, thoroughly enjoyed season 1, and they're loving season 2. Their boys are not old enough to listen, and they can't wait to share it with them someday. And also, thank you for being a podcast I'm not panicked to stop if one of them pops out of his room at bedtime. I feel you, Catherine. That is absolutely some when my kids were young, or that's yeah, I get you. But she says, thanks for being you. Catherine, thank you for shooting us an email and for you being you and listening. We're also going to shout out Nate, who shot us an email as well. They said there was too much stuff to say on a Spotify review, though they plan on leaving a review, which we thank you for, Nate. And they found us originally through Improv Tabletop. They came to us through Improv Tabletop, our sister podcast, which they found by searching family-friendly actual play podcasts on Spotify. Both Improv Tabletop and ICF are their favorites, and they're excited whenever there are more episodes for them to listen. It makes long work days more enjoyable, which, again, completely relate. Many episodes of Sneak Attack got me through some really boring shifts in a call center. So, Josh, thank you, I guess, since you're here on the podcast.
Hey.
So thank you for that.
Happy to be a soldier in the fight against boredom.
Now, Nate's email was quite long, and we loved reading it and talking about it as a cast, but they did have a PS with 2 additional questions. 1, any thoughts on testing out the Dagger Heart system, which recently dropped either on ICF or Improv Tabletop? And 2, will Jacob or Mickey ever participate in Improv Tabletop's Fate campaigns? This is the crossover that Nate is begging for and needing. Well, to answer question number 1, Nate, I can speak for ICF. Although we don't have intention to look into the Dagger Heart system quite yet, we do have a bonus, I guess you could say, podcast on our YouTube channel where we're going through a different tabletop system, namely the Cosmere RPG Plot Weaver system. So shout out to that. You can go look at it right now. There should be a few episodes on our YouTube channel there where we're going through the Stormlight Archive TTRPG there. So go give that a listen to. And then for number 2, I can't speak for Ned, but I think it would be fun to see more crossovers and just more Fate campaigns in general. Ned, I don't know if you wanted to speak to that at all, but we don't.
We don't have any plans to do a Dagger Heart campaign. It's a little crunchy for the kind of stories we do at Improv Tabletop, but if you're interested in hearing a Dagger Heart podcast, one of the ImpTab patrons is part of a Dagger Heart actual play called Dodo Born. So you can go check that out if you're interested in hearing how that system plays out.
Dodo Born, go check it out, Nate. Awesome. Again, if you want to be shouted out, feel free to leave a review or shoot us an email. Speaking of Improv Tabletop, let's just shout them out right here. They've got Fate Accelerated campaigns. They're fun. Some of them are wacky, and some of them are super surprisingly serious, and some are just a delight to listen. Not some. They're all a delight to listen to.
Some of them are a delight to listen to. Most of them, I will say, are a delight to listen to.
I think they're all. You've got the creators saying most, and you should go give them a listen if you haven't given them a try already. If you're this far into ICF, you really should go listen to some Improv Tabletop, and don't forget to leave them a 5-star review on the way out. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends, fellow wacky adventurers. But until next time, I'm Thomas, your DM, and around the table we have
Lieutenant Ignis Hakon,
Maximus Shans,
Chozo Lebec,
And Buster Bilgewater.
Let's keep that fire going, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.